And welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the Washington Nationals Montreal Expos episode. Yep, that was a mouthful. But yes, that franchise, which actually has some Hall of Famers on it, so it's not as bad as you might think.
Yeah. And some future Hall of Famers probably too.
Could be.
Oh, yeah.
Could be. All right, well, that being said, there's only four of us here today. For the first time in podcast history, we're doing an episode without Uncle Doug. Hope Uncle Doug feels better soon. And let's get started. Drew, who is your number 4 member of the Nationals Expos Mount Rushmore?
Mine's Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer is my number 3.
He didn't make mine.
He's my number 3 as well.
I know he wasn't there. I mean, actually, he is there for the longest part of his career.
Did he make Uncle Doug's?
Oh, shoot, I have it. 1 second. Let me look. No, he did not. He's Dad's 5th. He put it in parentheses at the bottom. But no, he was in Washington for 7 years, which he's been all over the place. But in Washington, he won 2 Cy Youngs. He was there for their World Series, one of their main pitchers. He led the league in wins twice while he was in Washington. He had 2.8 ERA. I mean, he was just, obviously I've been alive to watch him play. He was just dominant in Washington whenever he was healthy. I remember that playoff run, him and Strasburg. I mean, they just killed everybody. I mean, you were down 2-0 before you even knew it in those series.
Yeah.
Whether it was home or road games, they would just dominate you. And, I mean, this year, he's still, I think, pitching at a decent level. I mean, he got traded to the Rangers this year and won another World Series, so he was kind of bummed up again. But I think being there the longest part of his career and being there for their only World Series, I guess, and playing a part in it, I thought it'd be a decent spot at 4.
Oh, yeah. I put him at 3 just because of how dominant he was, and he won 2 Cy Youngs with the Nationals. I mean, for a good stretch of his Nationals tenure, I mean, in my opinion, he was considered the best pitcher, at least in the National League, throughout the majority of that time, if not the best pitcher in baseball. I mean, he won 2 Cy Youngs. I mean, like Drew said, his ERA there is under 3. I mean, it's 2.8. And he was just a machine there, and he was there for one of the World Series, 2 Cy Youngs. And I know I told myself I was going to choose either Strasburg or Scherzer. And Strasburg is technically there for a lot more years, but they actually didn't pitch that many more innings. Strasburg only pitches like 200 and some more innings than Scherzer, even though he's there like double the amount of years. And Scherzer, I think, was just better than Strasburg in his prime. So, and I mean, 2 Cy Youngs and there for the World Series. Just insane stats.
Well, Strasburg never really stayed healthy. And it's just crazy that the 1 year they were able to make that magical run, he stayed healthy.
Well, I mean, Strasburg has nasty numbers throughout his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many years where he's just not, like Max Scherzer with the Nationals led the league in innings twice.
Yeah.
I mean, and Strasburg was just never fully healthy for like years on end, while Scherzer was a workhorse and winning multiple Cy Youngs. And I mean, his ERAs there is 2.7, 2.9, 2.5, 2.5, 2.9, and then the last year jumped up to 3.7. But those first 5 years it's all under 3. He doesn't have a single year above 3 until the very last year. I mean, he was just insane. Probably the best pitcher in the National League throughout a lot of that.
Yeah, he was very good. Still is, really.
Oh yeah. Just can't stay healthy.
Yeah,
he's starting. Yeah.
He's starting to break down. And where did he go to school?
Didn't he go to Mizzou?
He did?
That's what I thought, yeah. I thought it.
All right. Wade, do you have a 4 left?
I do.
Who was your number 4?
I went with Tim Raines.
He's my number 2, actually.
Tim Raines is like my favorite Expo.
He
was awesome.
Tim Raines is my dad's number 1.
Oh, all right.
Drew, do you have him?
I do not have Tim.
To me, it came down. I was trying to choose between a couple guys, and Tim Raines was one of those guys, and I was like, I always thought Tim Raines was awesome. He was one of the guys that, there for a while, could compete with Ricky Henderson stolen base wise. I mean, and that's insane. I mean, we're talking about a guy with over 2,600 hits and over 800 stolen bases in his career. I mean, that's nasty, just absolutely nasty. Led the league in getting tongue-tied here. Led the league in stolen bases 4 times as an Expo, with the numbers of 71, 78, 90, and 75. And, yeah. I mean, this was the heyday of the stolen base with him and Ricky Henderson, and there was another guy, I thought. I can't remember his name. Oh, was it Vince Coleman?
Yeah, there you go. Vince Coleman.
They were the stolen base kings, but Tim Raines wasn't just a guy that stole bases, though. I mean,
Well, he also won a batting title in Montreal.
Yes.
He led the league in runs twice. He led the league in doubles once.
His career batting average in Montreal was 301.
Yeah.
And his on-base percentage is almost to 400. It's 391, which is, if your leadoff hitter is stealing 70 to 90 bases a year in his prime with an on-base percentage of almost 400, that's why he just got into the Hall of Fame here recently. That's pretty much what I'm getting at. He was nasty. And by the way, just so I can read off his accolades real quick. I don't think I did that earlier. He is a Hall of Famer, 7-time All-Star, has 2 World Series rings, won a Silver Slugger, a batting title, and was an All-Star Game MVP.
Well, he's also the franchise's all-time leader in offensive WAR and triples and walks and stolen bases and singles. That might be it. Oh, and stolen base percentage.
I mean, yeah, he was just a leadoff machine.
Yep, he was very good.
If Ricky Henderson didn't exist, Tim Raines would be held in much higher regard. He's just overshadowed by, he played the exact same time as the greatest leadoff hitter ever, so it kind of dampens some of his great accomplishments, yeah.
Like at one point in Montreal, he had 6 straight seasons of at least 70 stolen bases. When was the last time somebody did that? Him or Ricky?
Yeah, and 4 of those 5
guarantee
seasons, he hit over 300.
Yeah.
Or something, yeah. 4 of those seasons. He was just insane.
I mean, if there is a knock on Tim Raines, it's that he didn't hit for power.
But
Or
even
home runs, I mean.
he was a traditional leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
He's getting on base for the guys behind.
He was going to get a single or a double or a triple, and then if he didn't get a triple, he was going to be there eventually by a stolen base or 2.
Gets at least second or third.
Then all you got to do is hit a pop fly, and he's in.
We don't do that anymore. That's not how we play baseball.
No. You don't manufacture runs anymore. They just try to hit home runs.
By the way, I don't know if we mentioned this, but he played 13 years in Montreal.
Yeah, which is, for a franchise like this, is important.
Very much so.
He was an analyst for a while too, wasn't he?
He might have been. I honestly don't remember.
ESPN or something.
I don't remember Tim Raines
I
doing that,
can't
but
remember.
he might have been. All right. Anybody else have anything on Tim Raines?
Mm-mm.
Ray, you have a 4 left?
I do.
Who's your 4?
I went with Andre Dawson.
Oh, nice.
He made my list as well. He's my number 3.
Okay. Just
I did.
2 of us?
Andre Dawson.
Yeah.
That's Dad's number 3.
So 3. Okay, sweet.
I didn't put O'Dawsey Doss on.
I did not either. I think we're going to have about 7 guys with 3 or 4 votes.
So he is a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
He's also MVP. He's also Rookie of the Year.
Sorry.
8-time All-Star. 8-time Gold Glove. 4-time Silver Slugger. He also won the Home Run Derby. Let's see, 2,774 hits with a batting average of 279 and 438 home runs. So pretty solid career for working up in Canada.
He played 11 years in Montreal. Him and Raines actually played together, which would have been a pretty nice pair of hitters for you. He's and then, they traded both of them.
Shocker.
He's the franchise's all-time leader in sacrifice flies. Yep. That's it.
That's why we didn't put him on. Dude. There you go.
They're making our case for us. Wait, I haven't said anything.
No, I mean he led the league in hits one year with Montreal. He led the league in total bases one year. He did win Rookie of the Year while he was there. He did have 2 second place finishes in MVP while he was in Montreal. He won 3 Silver Sluggers and 6 Gold Gloves while in Montreal. We're talking about a guy that had an absolute fucking bazooka. It was an arm in right field. He was another guy that would steal bases. He's in the 30-30 club. I do believe maybe multiple times. And then unfortunately he ended up being a Cub later.
Yeah, unfortunately. Ugh.
What were his home runs and RBIs those years he got second MVP?
His first second place finish, he batted .302 with 24 home runs and 64 RBIs. Now, was that a strike year?
Might be.
Only 103 games.
Yeah, because why would they give that second the MVP?
Might have been a strike year.
It could have been, yeah.
Yeah. And then he came in second the second time. He batted .299 with 32 home runs, 113 RBIs, and 25 stolen bases.
Yeah,
He led the league in hits with 189.
That's more of a complete year.
It's a really nice all-around year.
Yeah, he was All-Star, Gold Glove, Silver Slugger. Yeah. And then he won MVP later, but that was with the Cubs. Yeah. By the way, I saw the statistic the other day. There is only, for the first 100, it's 130 years of Major League Baseball, only 2 players won an MVP while their team came in last place. And both of them were Cubs. It was Ernie Banks and Andre Dawson.
Very sad for the Cub fans.
Makes me puts a good smile on my face. Cardinal fan.
What a terrible stat. Way to bring down that's not one of the greatest moments in Cubs history. We have these 2 MVPs. Yeah, on a last place team. Fucking losers.
Oh, man.
Oh, shoot.
Can't even have their MVPs.
All right. Anybody else have anything to say about Andre Dawson?
No.
I think we've said enough.
I have a 4 left.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. My 4 is Vladimir Guerrero.
He's my
okay.
2.
He's my 2. He's Dad's 2 as well.
No, I don't have him.
What'd I say, Wade?
Here we go.
No, Vladimir Guerrero is one of my all-time favorite players. But I'll be honest with you, when I think of him, I kind of picture him in Anaheim.
That's
He
right.
was in Montreal longer than I thought, though.
He was.
Yeah, he's in there a
yeah.
lot longer than what I thought.
Yeah.
But he gets his MVP in.
Well, he wins a ring with the Angels, doesn't he?
Yeah, he wins an MVP with the Angels. He wins a ring with the Angels.
He was kind of underrated with the Expos, even though he put up some monster numbers there for a while.
It was what, him and fucking Jose Vidro or something.
Pedro was there with him for
Pedro was there, and Pedro's
the
brother.
very beginning. Yeah.
It's just there all the way up in Montreal on that one.
Yeah.
Well,
Pedro leaves, I think, shortly after Vlad gets there.
So
then,
the Expos were still in the National League, right?
Yeah.
I think.
They were. I just wasn't alive. I'm guessing they just transitioned straight to the Nationals.
Yeah. They did.
Okay.
Vlad played 8 years in Montreal, and he has some All-Star appearances and 3 Silver Sluggers. Doesn't really have any high MVP finishes or no Gold Gloves or Rookie of the Year, anything like that. Let's see. He is the all-time leader in batting average for the franchise. He's the all-time leader in slugging percentage and OPS.
Crazy. You said he wasn't really getting any accolades there.
Yeah, no.
His stat lines for some of those years are nasty.
Steroid era.
Oh, yeah. Didn't even think about that.
And they're
I mean-
good numbers, but they're not steroid numbers. They're not juiced up.
Like read off a couple of his best years.
In Montreal?
Yeah.
Okay, in this year, he batted .345 with 44 home runs and 123 RBIs. Yeah. I mean,
That's fucking nuts.
Who won MVP?
Like he didn't even give votes.
he was sixth.
Oh,
Giambi won MVP that year.
Jason Giambi.
333 with 43 home runs and 137 RBIs.
Sounds like basically the same thing.
Basically the same thing, but but Oakland was probably a playoff team, and the Expos were probably in last place.
Did
Oh yeah,
did
Vlad
Vlad steal
the
bases?
AL? I
again?
guess what's NL?
Oh yeah, I was looking at the wrong league. That's true. Jeff Kent won his MVP that year by 334 with 33 home runs, 125 RBIs.
Didn't Vlad kind of have lot
Pretty
more
much
home runs?
very, very similar year. But again, you're talking about somebody that plays on a last place team, and then he plays for the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants were going to World
Who
Series.
you know who came in second in the MVP voting?
Barry.
Barry, who also played for the Giants.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. He wasn't really getting recognized for years like that. Now you'd win the MVP right now if he did that.
Yeah, if he did that now,
He'd be the MVP. Like that's crazy.
hitting that many home runs, shoot, and batting that high, he might have a chance at a triple crown.
All right, here you go. Here's his best season of his career. And I was rooting for him so hard in this season because I wanted him to do it because he would have been the first 40-40 guy. He hit 336 with 39 home runs, 111 RBIs, and 40 stolen bases. He led the league in hits at 206, led the league in total bases, led the league. Yeah.
So he needed one more home run for the.
Yeah.
I know we'll never see that now, at least until baseball changes again.
Yeah.
No one hitting 40 home runs nowadays. Oh, maybe. How many did Acuna?
Well, Acuna just went 40-70.
Yeah,
yeah.
I forgot about him this year. Never mind.
And somebody else this year just went like 30-60.
He went 40-70. Huh?
Yeah, he finally stayed healthy. He came back from his torn ACL and he started stealing bases again. Because he was trying to get to 40. It was a race. It was like
That's insane.
there's like 3 or 4 Braves players that hit 40 home runs.
Well, I know Olsen went off.
Olsen was like, what? I know.
He hit like 40 home runs.
Yeah, I know those two hit 40. I think another one might have hit 42. It's
Because it was
They broke all the all-time offense records. Like they
Yeah.
had the most home runs in a season, the most runs scored in a season,
but they did the normal Braves thing, losing the playoffs
in the
Oh,
first
in
round.
the first round.
they have
They've been doing that since the 90s.
who's that power hitter? He played for you all a couple years ago. The outfielder.
Oh, Zuna.
Yeah. Doesn't he a big power hitter for him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't they have?
When he's not arrested,
Yeah. Don't they have? Who's their catcher?
they have 2 All-Star catchers.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They-
Do they have? No, Sean Murphy. Does.
Yeah, Sean Murphy,
and
and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Why do they have 2?
They had one, and they traded for the A's
Yeah,
starting catcher
they had
as
one,
well, and they split time. They're both All-Stars.
Just one DH? Like one
Sometimes.
sometimes it just depends on.
But this year, it actually worked out really well for them because one of them got hurt and missed like 2 or 3 months, and the other one, and Murphy had to play all the time.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah, Acuna, this was Acuna's year this year. He batted .337 with 41 home runs, 73 stolen bases. His on-base percentage was .416, and his OPS was .1012.
Wow.
Yeah, he won MVP.
Yeah. He had 217 hits. He had a killer season.
I'd say so.
When he stays healthy, he can do that. It's just he's
He's struggled to stay healthy, and he's kind of an asshole.
that too. That doesn't help your case out.
40-70 is just insane.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I was like, oh, didn't Acuna do something like that? I forgot it was 70 though. But then again, he's got the rule though this year. pitchers can only throw at you twice, and then they can't throw at you, so you get a big old lead.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you do it right, you can get some freebies.
And they have the pitch clock, so you can't hold the ball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit easier if people would actually do it.
They made the bases bigger. It's just little things. But anyway, Vladimir Guerrero.
I mean, he's one of the best hitters of his generation, and he spent a large part of his career in Montreal. So, I mean, I thought he was a pretty obvious pick.
Before his knees went bad and he was running and stealing bases too, dude, he was so great.
And he has one of the greatest arms ever.
Yeah, cannon.
Absolute. Well, he was one of the most exciting players in baseball. That's why everybody liked him.
Yeah.
Because he swung at everything.
5-tool.
Literally swung at everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's known for the ball bouncing before it got
Yeah.
to him and him still hitting it.
Yep.
Like, he literally swung at stuff like above his head and like at his toes. But he hit for a high batting average. He hit he was just short of 500 home runs for his career.
449.
Oh, so a little
About
a
450
little ways back there,
so.
but yeah. I mean, in his prime though, he was an automatic 30 to 40 some home runs. Just a monster.
He's one of those guys that he's not in the 3,000 hit club, but he's relatively close. He has almost 2,600. He doesn't have 500 home runs, but he's relatively close. He has almost 450. But like he did everything.
That's the thing. I had an argument one time with someone where I said, I don't know if this is what I fully believe, but I was trying to prove a point. And I was saying, like, someone like Carlos Beltran, who played Gold Glove defense, has like 2,400 hits, hit a good solid batting average, got you 30 home runs and 100 RBIs, and played Gold Glove defense and stole 25 bases. I was like, I would take that over someone who played terrible defense, didn't really get on base a ton, but hit 40 home runs all day.
Like Adam Dunn.
Yeah. Or yeah. Or like
Or Schwarber.
Or you can even
Yeah,
go
that's
like
what Schwarber does
you
for
can go
the-
like extreme. Like if you go to like even like Hall of Fame guys like
Or Reggie Jackson.
or like Jim Tomei.
Jim told me.
Say Kyle Schwarber, all he does for the Phillies is hits one or two, and he's either on base or he hits a home run.
Here's my thing. Carlos Beltran, the knock on him is not his play. The knock on him is he was always hurt.
Yeah, he was hurt.
Yeah.
But he has like really nice all around numbers. I think he was a switch hitter. He has
Yeah.
gold gloves and silver sluggers and all-star appearance. Like he provided a ton to help you win.
Dude.
And then you have
Wow.
guys that hit a home run once every 6 games, and then that's what you think they're better. Like, I don't know.
He used to kill the Cardinals all the time.
Wow, he almost single-handedly beat you guys in the 2004 NLCS. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't the reason
he did
that
with
they
the Mets,
lost.
too.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
He's
Well,
one of the better postseason.
Well, then the next year in 2005, he does beat us. Because when the Astros, when they go to play the White Sox, he lights up Chris Carpenter and the boys. And then the next year, he misses Wainwright's curveball or it's gone. Like, if he hits it, the Mets are going to the World Series. Like,
Yeah.
Then he came and played for the Cardinals later in his career.
I really like Beltran. I think his all-around.
Yeah, I
ability
always
is
liked
really
him,
good.
but
Well, we probably ought to get back on track, gentlemen. Does anybody have a 3?
I
No.
do. I have 3 left.
I don't have one.
Drew, who's your 3?
My 3 is Ryan Zimmerman.
I thought about Zimmerman,
Yeah,
but I
thought
did not
about
put
it,
him.
put him on.
Zimmerman was the Nationals' first pick once they got to Washington. 2-time All-Star. He was there for the World Series. He got a Gold Glove, 2 Silver Sluggers. He leads them in a lot of their all-time categories.
I got you, Drew. I got their all-time categories pulled up. He leads the all-time franchise in games played, and at-bats, and plate appearances, and runs scored, and hits, and total bases, and doubles, and home runs, and RBIs, and strikeouts, and runs created, whatever. Yeah, I get whatever the fuck that is. Extra base hits. Oh, he also leads them in grounded and double plays. But no, you're right. He leads the franchise.
I mean,
in a lot of
he's probably
categories.
their longest tenure player. He was there for his whole career, all 16 years. I just thought lower on my list, number 3, just because he's been there for the whole time.
He was on the World Series team, wasn't he?
Yep, he was there for the World,
yeah.
so he was there for that. That was definitely towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
He retires like a year or 2 later. but he had some decent years in Washington. It's probably one of the Nationals I think of just because that's probably the one I've seen play a lot while I've been alive. But I just thought, decent spot.
No, in the middle of his career, he was a very, very quality player, but his teams weren't very good.
No, those teams were not good. Those, till real recent, that little span there with Scherzer and Strasburg and the beginning of Harper, that's when they were really good. But before that, the Nationals have never been really good. Kind of like how they are now.
Yeah.
They don't. So,
Yeah, I mean, he has, a couple 30 home run seasons, fair amount of 20 home run seasons, a handful of seasons where he bats over 300. Like, he was a very quality baseball player. He won a Gold Glove. Like, very quality baseball player. All right. Anybody else have anything to say about Zimmerman?
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody else have a 3 left?
Nope.
Anybody have a 2 left?
Nope.
Mm.
So do we all just have 1 player left?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
yeah.
And nobody's named him. Is everybody? So everybody has their 1 left, including Uncle Doug.
It's Dad, number 4, but
Oh, it's his number 4.
yeah, but I wasn't, since we weren't like going.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, it's his number 4.
Oh, gotcha. So it's Gary Carter.
Yep, Gary Carter, who's another one. He played with, what was it, Tim and Dawson, same time period. I'm pretty sure they all played together. I think Carter leaves a little bit before the other two do because he wins that World Series with the Mets. But I'm pretty sure all of them played together.
I think it'd have been close because he leaves Montreal in '84, and they're all there in the '80s, but I don't remember when those guys. Here, let me look. I guess I know this. Tim Raines was there. He got there. Oh, he got there in '79. So yeah, they overlapped quite a bit. And Dawson got there even earlier in '76. So yes, they all 3 overlapped quite a bit.
I was like, we're talking about these 3 Hall of Fame baseball players, but it didn't it led to 0 winning. I guess Montreal had no pitching when these guys are around, or because we've talked about, are all 3 of them in the Hall of Fame?
Raines is. Dawson is. What about Carter?
Yeah, Carter is.
Carter, yeah, they're all 3 in the Hall.
Yeah, 3 Hall of Famers, but like, I mean, let's see. Yeah, Carter's rookie year, losing record. Next year, losing record. Next year, even worse. 55 and 107. Good gosh.
Wow.
Well, they have.
There we go. Winning record in 79 is their first one I'm finding.
What was it? 81, 81.
But they can't make. Did they make the playoff? Oh, they lose to the Dodgers in the NL Championship that time.
They have a winning record in '83.
81, they make the NLCS, but they lose to the Dodgers. Yeah, 83, that winning record. No, they don't even. I think they only made the playoffs once with all of them. Yeah, they made the playoffs once with all of them.
Wow.
And then they're all gone. That's insane.
That is pretty crazy.
Sounds like every time LeBron leaves a franchise.
Always find something to dig in.
That's right.
Always.
Well, in 1980, Carter came in second in the MVP.
Yeah, I must say that. I thought they had some decent talent up there, but they just couldn't. I don't know. But yeah, Gary Carter, he was 11-time All-Star.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say, in 1980, they won 90 games. They still came in second in their division.
Yeah, I was like, back then baseball was what, a 2 or 4 playoff thing. Only 4 teams made the playoffs. The winners of the division and one other team.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it was that way when Wade and I were little kids.
yeah, this year recently is when it's really gotten a lot.
So they won 90 games and missed the playoffs.
I think it's 81 the next year they finally. I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Well, who's on this damn team?
So Gary's 11-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glover, 5-time Silver Slugger. He's got 320 home runs, 2,000 hits, batted .262 for his career. Finished second in the MVP one year. Anybody else notable on this team?
No. I mean, you got Gary Carter, Warren Cromartie, Rodney Scott, Chris Spear, Larry Parrish, Tim Raines, Andre Dawson, and Tim Wallach.
Sounds like some real winners.
Yeah. Anyway. So we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4, 5, 6. Only 6 guys, not as many as I thought we were going to there at first.
And Carter's the only unanimous.
Oh, yeah. We got one in. So we got 5 guys for 3 spots. Tim Raines has 4 votes, and Vlad has 4 votes. Who didn't have Tim Raines?
Me.
Who didn't have Vlad? Or Ray.
I'd be fine with going with Tim.
From Zimmerman?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, fair enough. Thank
There
you
you
there,
are.
sir.
Tim Raines the man.
All right, Timmy boy's in. Timmy boy is in.
I like it.
All right, now we got 3.
Ooh.
Good old Max, Mr. Dawson, and Vlad the Impaler.
Well, who wants to start her off?
Oh, well, what 3 of us have Max?
I do.
I have shirts.
So you 3. And what 3 of us have Dawson?
You and Uncle Doug.
Me, Uncle Doug, and Ray. And what 4 of us have Vlad?
Man, Uncle Doug.
All right, Wade, Uncle Doug, Drew, and myself. Ray, what do you think about coming to Vlad?
I'm thinking about it. Considering it as a possibility.
Who are you trying to come off of is the question.
Probably the Nationals player, Mr. Max.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, right.
That's what I'm talking about, Ray.
Because when I started the list, I was like, do I really want Nationals on this team, or do I
What?
just want to stick to Expos?
They're the Nationals now. What do you mean?
You can pick Dawson, who almost won 2 MVPs, or Scherzer, who won 2 Cy Youngs. Go with the guy that
And-
actually won.
And a World Series.
Oh.
Well, it's kind of like the Seattle Supersonic situation where I just don't really acknowledge the Thunder.
Who are really good this year, by the way.
They are. I'll give them
Yeah.
credit
They
for
are.
that.
Very good.
But they're not Seattle.
Sonics were
They're offbeat.
Would you feel better if they wore green jerseys?
I would, except for the fact that they're still in Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of a disrespectful thing.
I will say this,
Yeah.
though. Oklahoma City supports shit out of that team.
They do
They do.
support them, yeah.
They have a really good home court advantage.
And they always do really cool stuff during the playoffs. Like, they give the whole stadium matching T-shirts or give them, like,
always.
the stuff. Like,
They do support that team no matter what. It'd be nice to see them in the playoffs
And it
again.
was really crazy the move to Oklahoma City because it's like they're like college football people,
Well, just Well, it's right
well, they
there.
tested it out first, though.
right? With like the Hornets or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember, the Hornets had to leave New Orleans for something. Was it the hurricane or something?
Yeah, Katrina.
Probably, yeah.
Katrina, yeah. And so they made him play in Oklahoma City for a season.
Yep. Sorry, guys. I'm pulling the Seattle.
Oh, my God.
One less vote for Max, and Vlad is in.
Oh, Vlad's in.
Booyah.
I mean, in all reality, technically, I guess it's 2-2.
Yeah.
Because Uncle Doug's vote doesn't count.
Yeah, since he's not here.
But I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know a Nationals fan.
I mean,
I don't think I do know any. I can't pull that one out this week.
we're going to do a Nationals list with no Nationals on it.
Hell yeah.
Ah, Do we just have like a good quality baseball fan we could call and ask?
Call Mark.
I call Dalton.
Old D-Bake.
All right, call him up.
Boy.
Oh,
Dun,
boy.
dun, dun.
If he doesn't answer, I'll see if I can call Buddy.
You want me to actually call him or just shoot him a message?
You can call him if you want.
Call him if you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't promise what he might say when he answers the phone.
Oh God.
But you can answer it away from the mic and then and let him know he's on the pod.
Okay. Where we at here? Oh, never
And-
mind. I can't. Never mind.
You can't call him.
Well, the reason he didn't come on the podcast because he said he had to go to bed at 7 o'clock because he had to go into work at 2 a.m. to help cover a night shift. So
Oh.
I just remembered that before I dialed the call button, so I don't want to wake him up.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Understandable.
that's understandable.
Yes, I almost made a mistake there. I almost pissed him off, bro.
All right. Next, phone a friend. Who's up?
I'll try Buddy.
Okay. Roger that.
Oh, Buddy's gonna say Dawson. I have a feeling.
We used to have a lot of arguments about Andre Dawson back in the day.
He seems like a Dawson kind of guy. God damn it, nap-eyed.
Old nap eye.
Have someone else cover your goddamn shifts.
Hey, question for you. We're on the podcast.
Yeah, what's up?
We're doing the Nationals Expos Mount Rushmore. And we got it down to 2 guys, and we can't decide between them. There's only 4 of us here, so we need you to be our tiebreaker.
Okay.
We're down to Max Scherzer and Andre Dawson. Only Expos career. No, not the rest of their career. Do you need me to give you any numbers or context, or you got it?
Okay, so the only thing I really remember from Dawson's career was with the Chicago Cubs. So hook me up with his stats for the Expos.
Did you know he's one of the only Chicago Cubs that won MVP in last place?
Ended his career, right?
No, this is where he started his career.
Right, that's what I meant. Started his career.
Yeah, he played his first 11 seasons in Montreal. He hit 280 with 225 home runs, 253 stolen bases, 838 RBIs.
250.
Yeah. Then you got 1,575 hits, 828 runs. Yeah, he won Rookie of the Year, 2 second-place MVP finishes. He won 6 Gold Gloves and 4 Silver Sluggers.
Jesus Christ. Just in. Okay.
Yep, that's his Montreal stuff, yes.
It's not looking good, Drew.
So how long was Max there?
7 years. He did win a World Series there and won 2 Cy Youngs there.
So only World Series championship
Yep.
in the franchise, 2 Cy Youngs.
Yep.
Ooh, that is tough. No wonder you boys. Washington, 14, 20.
Tell him there's no
40,
Nationals or no
50,
pitchers
60,
on the list.
Yeah. Give me more context.
70 something wins and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 10 wins. No wonder y'all are stuck. I would. Okay, just ask yourself who would you start your franchise with?
Scherzer.
Yeah.
Scherzer.
Good question.
I mean,
The ace pitcher.
I need an ace.
yeah, I mean, if I was to start a franchise, I'd go with a big-time ace, I think. But
That's what I'm thinking too. I mean, I'm not trying to discredit the Hawk on his career because that's a career for some people, just what he did there.
yeah,
But at the same time, that's a
Ray,
career for some people. What
can you hear
Scherzer
Buddy
did
on the
there too.
Yeah, a little bit.
I guess I'd lean towards Scherzer with the World Series and 2 Cy Youngs.
all right, fair enough. Fair
Okay.
enough.
But no, stick with it. Stick with it. It's all right.
All right, all right.
Thank you, buddy.
And hey, you're gonna come on for the Mariners Mount Rushmore, right?
Let me know when and where, baby.
All right. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Yep, catch you soon.
Yep. Bye.
Scherzer.
We won, Wade.
Yeah,
we got
yeah. We lost, Ray.
When he asked the
Yeah, it is
question, I
what
was
it
like,
Yeah.
At some point, I'm gonna have to set up like a dedicated phone just so we do phone calls.
Yeah, how well could you hear it, Ray?
It was mild. Like I could hear what he was saying, but it needed volume.
Yeah, I had to pull my headphones off to talk on the phone,
Right.
so I couldn't tell.
All right, well there we have it.
All right, so that means for the listeners out there, our Mount Rushmore for the Nationals Expos is as follows: Max Scherzer, Tim Raines, Vladimir Guerrero, and Gary Carter. I mean, there's 3 Hall of Famers there, and a guy that could very well be in the Hall of Fame later. I wouldn't have thought we would have 4 Hall of Famers for this franchise. I mean, if we'd have put Dawson in, we'd have 4 Hall of Famers too. So, I mean...
Going into it, I would not have thought about it just because we said Nationals. But when you bring the Expos into it,
I mean, Max Scherzer, I think, is going to be the first ballot.
Well, let's look at his career numbers and talk about it. I mean, he's still playing, so we have some time, but he has 214 wins to 108 losses. He has a 3.15 ERA. He's pitched 2,800 innings. He has 3,300 strikeouts. Any other stats somebody wants?
What are his overall accolades?
He has 3 Cy Youngs, 8 All-Star appearances, and 2 World Series.
I mean, to me, he's got a ring. He's got 3 Cy Youngs.
Yeah.
He's over the 3,000 strikeout threshold. He's over 200 wins, which in today's MLB is a decently good amount.
But they're in that porta shitter of a town called D.C.
He's not anymore.
Right, not anymore. But.
I mean, he's from St. Louis and went to Mizzou, so we got to give him a little credit.
Yeah, I'll give him about 10%.
All right, well, there we are, gentlemen.
I mean, Roy Halladay made it in the first try, and Scherzer have more stuff than Roy Halladay? He's got more Cy Youngs, doesn't he?
That's a good call. I don't know. Let me pull them up side by side here.
And Scherzer has more World Series than him.
How many does Scherzer have? 2?
2.
Yeah,
He
so
just got
Halladay's
that
got
one with the
1.
Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. He did just win one this year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Plus, 3 Cy Youngs is a pretty big deal.
All right, so innings pitched. Scherzer has him by about 100 innings. He has 11 more wins, but 3 more losses. Halladay's ERA is about 0.2 higher. Wow. Scherzer has 1,200 more strikeouts.
Do you know what I mean? I think Scherzer's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I would.
I will say this, though. I'm not trying to bag on Halladay because I really liked him when he played. But dying helps.
Yeah.
It does. Like, it does with stuff like that. When you die, like, people, like, build you up.
Yeah, we've talked about that a few times.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Yeah, and
Not just
this
baseball, but other sports, too.
Halladay had 2 Cy Youngs. Scherzer has 3. They both had 8 All-Star appearances, and Halladay never won a championship.
Halladay didn't get the one with the Phillies?
No. Hamels was there by himself.
Oh, okay.
There.
And
And
the
then
next
they
year-
end up going out and getting Halladay and Lee.
Isn't it Cliff Lee? Yeah.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
go to the next year. Don't they go to 2 in a row?
I thought he at least pitched in one.
Yeah, the next year they play the Yankees, but they lose to Jeter and A-Rod.
That sounds right.
Because they go in 08-09,
Because I know Halladay has a
I
no
think.
hitter.
Or is it 09-10?
Well, 9's when the Yankees win.
Because Halladay
He's
has
still
Yeah, it's 08-09. They win in 08 because don't they beat?
in 2009, Halladay's still in
I
Toronto.
thought they play the. Who was it?
Who they play? Who they lose to?
They don't make it in 10.
Maybe they don't make it.
No, it's not. It's not. It's got to be 08-09.
They don't even.
Because the next year they lose to the Cardinals.
So
They
thought
lose in the
Halladay-
first round after winning 102 games in 11. In 12, they missed the
I
playoffs.
think it's 08-09. They win the first one.
Well, then he wasn't there.
Shoot, I thought I was.
Yeah, they won the World Series in 2009 over the Yankees. Or wait, they lose to the Yankees in 2009. Sorry.
Okay, so they do lose to the Yankees in 09.
They beat the
Yeah,
Rays.
and they beat the Rays in 08.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he does pitch in the World Series?
No.
He's in Toronto during that.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
That was last year in Toronto, yeah. And they never get back, yeah.
He had some postseason no-hitter.
It was the Cardinals.
Yeah. He's with the Phillies, right?
Yeah, it was with the Phillies, yeah.
Hmm.
It's wild.
Anyway, I'm way off topic again.
All right, well, now it is time for What If. Drew, would you like to tell the listeners what the What If is?
Oh, yeah. Our what if is right on theme with the Expos and the Nationals, mostly the Nationals. What if what if Bryce Harper doesn't lead the Nationals and he's still there? Do they look like they do now? Do they win that World Series? I guess from that point on, for when he leaves, are they able to keep that team together to win the World Series the very next year, or is he costing them too much money and they suck and he just puts up good numbers? So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at with this.
Well, let's ask this question. Let's start with this question, do they still win the championship with Bryce Harper?
I mean, part of me wants to say yes because he's a good player, but we all saw it wasn't working the years before anyway.
Yeah, he had his issues. He's not always the easiest guy to get along with.
No, he's not.
But he is, on the field, a huge step up from whoever he's replacing in the outfield.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he is isn't he a two-time league MVP?
Maybe.
so.
I think he is.
I think he's one too.
I think only one happened.
And
in
he does.
Nationals,
I will give him credit. He does show up most of the time in the postseason.
Yeah, he just had a big put.
Yeah.
He said back-to-back big postseasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hits home runs a lot.
Yeah.
Hill.
Stinson.
He's one
Bryce
of the
Harper has 2 MVPs, a Rookie of the Year, 3 Silver Sluggers, an NLCS MVP.
Yeah, I would say he shows up in playoffs. I'll give him that. So but I don't know. Just when he was there, things weren't clicking. But I just thought it was funny. Literally the year after he leaves, they win.
Yeah, it just kind of sucked for him. Baseball is just kind of weird like that, though. There's just so many factors and so many different scenarios and players and yeah. So who plays his position the year after he goes to the Phillies?
Hold on, I got this.
I'm trying to think of their other outfielders because Soto was in.
It's Soto, Adam Eaton, and somebody.
It's like Jason Worth or something?
Victor Robles. Who hit 255 with 17 home runs and 65 RBIs.
Well, did they make any big signings that offseason with the money they saved with Harper? Because those guys wouldn't be there. Because that would be,
Not that I can remember.
they would have to,
Did they re-sign Scherzer or Strasburg with that money instead?
well, didn't Strasburg get a big
Strasburg got a big contract after the World Series.
Yeah.
and then never played again?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, he's played 2 or 3 games maybe since winning the World Series.
And you were right earlier, Wade. It was Patrick Corbin was the third pitcher, and they had Anibal Sanchez. They had a good pitching staff.
That is pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
I thought for some reason I remembered Corbin because didn't Corbin used to play for the Diamondbacks back in the day too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he came up with the Diamondbacks.
I think you're right. Because if they could sign Harper and not lose, I just don't know what happened right after that.
I'm trying to remember
with the money. Did they make any big signings, or were all their big players already there locked in for another year or two?
I think they were, but I don't think the Nationals could pay him as much as the
Okay,
Phillies
so
wanted.
so they hadn't paid Soto, they hadn't paid Strasburg.
Probably haven't played Trey Turner.
They probably wouldn't have paid Trey Turner at that time. He would have been young as well. So had they paid Anthony Rendon?
Well, he
No,
got
'cause
his big money with the Angels.
Yeah, that's
No,
true too.
paid.
So none of them were on their big contracts. So maybe it's not as bad as we think.
Maybe they're just cheap.
The Phillies did.
I think that's part of the problem. Nationals didn't want to pay him.
Well, wasn't it kind of
Because remember,
because
isn't it Trout, Machado, all of them are getting their big deals right in there.
Machado and
Yeah.
Harper were the same year. I think Trout.
Oh, and then
was
Tatis
after,
and
was
Tatis.
someone right
Is
after.
Tatis that year?
There was 3 of them that same offseason. You're right. It was Machado, Harper. Ooh.
Was it Mookie? No.
No. Is it when does Tatis get good?
Freddie Freeman, maybe.
So we're talking about the 18 offseason?
I don't remember what year it is, but
Because this is the 19 season they won the
Yeah,
World Series.
yeah.
So
Because it's like Harper, Machado, and
I can't remember the big one.
I can't either.
Was that the year where there was a big run on shortstops? Or was that later?
I think it's. I don't
No,
remember.
because Trey Turner was in that. Never mind. That was just a couple years ago. I don't remember. But I swear up and down, Machado and Bryce Harper were the same offseason.
I think those two because he goes. No way. No, Machado.
yeah, Bryce Harper signs 13 years, $330 million.
I think that might have been part of it. Maybe I don't think the Nationals wanted to give him 13 years.
No, yeah, I think you're right. on
because
that.
he's already like.
Like I think the Phillies got him because they gave him the 13 years, and I think Washington wouldn't go above like 10 or something or 11.
Yeah.
Machado signs 10 years, $300 million with the Padres.
Okay. And Bryce, you said was 13 for 350,
320,
320.
330, something like that.
So yeah. So maybe from the Nationals' perspective, it wasn't a terrible move. They didn't want to give someone a 13-year contract.
Yeah, I bet that's one of them. Like Alex said, they were going to be cheap. I mean, everyone else leaves.
I mean, yeah,
Besides Strasburg, but he didn't play again. So.
sure, yeah.
I mean, literally, that team is like, it's almost like a Marlins type sell off
Yeah.
shortly thereafter.
Win a World Series and leave.
Well, at the same time, though, you couldn't afford to pay all those guys.
I mean, they couldn't have paid.
You might be able to pay one or two,
Yeah.
maybe, depending on which ones you pick. I mean, because they would have had to pay Strasburg and Scherzer and Trey Turner and Soto and Harper all top of the line money at their position. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You might be able to pick two, maybe.
And
three.
Rendon wanted his money too.
And Rendon. Rendon got big money. He just sucked after that.
Yeah.
He was good for the Nationals.
Old Angels.
Okay, so are we operating under the assumption that Harper signs a massive deal with the Nationals then?
Probably, yeah. If he stays there, I mean, that's what would have to happen.
Okay, so he signs this massive deal. Does it does it do something to the team?
I mean, or is everything else still happening the way it does with all the pitchers?
In 2019, without Bryce Harper, the Nationals' payroll was $155 million. So if you add a $35 million tag to that, that's still only $190 million, which would still probably put them like 10th, 11th, 12th in the league.
So this is not unrealistic for them to just re-sign him and keep plugging along.
Yeah.
So I think they're the champions next year.
I think
right?
they could do it. Like if we keep everything the same, like everyone stays healthy, both pitchers are healthy and they're fine. I think they probably
You just
win.
have an MVP candidate in the outfield besides a mediocre player. I'd say you're
yeah.
probably right.
Yeah.
You have two MVP candidates in the outfield,
Yeah.
Soto and Harper.
And I don't think they have to go to Game 7 with the Astros. I think they just beat them outright quicker.
But then I guess, okay, so I think we're pretty much in agreement on that. But then what happens going forward? Do they continue to win? Do guys leave after that? Because the very next offseason, they lose some of these guys.
They're not going, like we were just saying, they're
Soto,
not going to pay. They can't pay them all.
Soto would stay for a little bit because he doesn't have to get paid yet.
Yeah.
He's still young enough, but I'm guessing Trey Turner would leave.
Scherzer's still
They would have to pick one of the pitchers.
Scherzer still has a few more years left on his contract, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, the very next year, they have the same catcher, a different first baseman, a different second baseman. They still have Trey Turner, a different third baseman. They still have Soto and Eaton. And then they still have Scherzer, Corbin, Sanchez, but Strasburg doesn't play.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
out
because
for
he's
it.
hurt.
So they pretty much return all the important players.
Just not the one pitcher.
Yeah, they're
They
missing
won't have
one of their
Strasburg.
big-time pitchers, but it's an injury, not because he got sold off or something.
Yeah.
So I think they still would have been really good. I mean, without Harper, they sucked. They were really bad.
It's real bad the next year. That's a big drop off.
Well,
They came in last in their division.
What was it? What was their record?
Well, they're 26-34, but that's the COVID season, so it's like they can have a really bad record,
so
but
that just means in a regular season they just got off to a bad start.
yeah, yeah.
Well, you got to think though they're not Strasburg, but you said there's a different third baseman, so that means Rendon's gone. And
Oh yeah,
Rendon's
Rendon's
with
gone.
the
Yeah.
Angels.
Rendon was really good, like really, really good.
Yeah, he
The
was.
reason the Angels gave him a fuck ton of money.
He's just been.
So I mean, you lost your all-star third baseman and one of your ace pitchers. I mean,
But if Harper's still there,
that would help make up for it.
That would make up a little bit.
right? Not only make up for it, but does Rendon stay because he thinks they can win again, or does somebody else come there because I want to play with Harper and Soto and Trey Turner?
If
They
they,
Scherzer is pitcher.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends. If the Nationals want to try and keep winning World Series, I think they let all those guys go because they know they're going to have to pay Soto. Soto's the most important one. If you're going to ride it
Yeah.
out, you want Harper and Soto. Soto's like the next, has all-time great potential guy. Trey Turner's really good, but
Yeah.
he's not Soto.
He
who
just
am I
doesn't have
missing?
the age factor as Soto. So, like Alex said, Soto's like 20. He's
So
like
they go-
19 at the time, and Trey Turner's like already 26.
At this year, this is 2020. Soto is 21 and Turner's 27.
Yeah. You take the guy that's 21, not 27.
And Soto at that point was doing like crazy shit for like 20 he was like setting records for like on base percentage for like 20, 19 year olds.
This year in 2020, Soto hit 351 with a 490 on base percentage.
490. That's nuts.
Yeah. At 21.
And then in 2021, they win 65 games. They still have Turner and Soto, and now they have Kyle Schwarber. And they still have Corbin and Scherzer, but they suck, man.
No, they're no good. The Nationals, since that World Series, booty.
Well, here's the thing. After that World Series, maybe their bullpen sucks, and maybe after Scherzer, everyone else fell off.
Yeah.
As we all know, if you ain't got pitching, you ain't gonna win.
No, if you can't pitch, it don't
We haven't
matter.
talked about them having any great relievers. I don't know if they had any or not. I don't know, but
But pitching like that can get contagious for a little streak there.
maybe after Scherzer, things fell off. Maybe the bullpen went to shit. Can't pitch, can't win.
Yeah, bullpen's not great.
Yeah.
So I guess the ultimate question here is just does the core of Harper, Soto, and Turner bring you other free agents to fill in the holes of Rendon and Strasburg and things like that?
I think anytime
I
like
think it
you're
could,
that
yeah.
much young talent.
I mean, like you said, a couple years later, Kyle Schwarber shows up. It's the exact same thing that the Phillies did. I mean, it's kind of the same team. I mean, the Phillies have Turner, Harper, and Schwarber. That's what the Nationals could look like.
Yeah.
Well, they do, don't they?
Yeah. I mean,
I forgot
the
about
Phillies
that.
right now could be what the Nationals are, just a little bit different.
Yeah.
I forgot they have
I
all
mean,
three of those
Who
guys.
anchored the bullpen the year the Nationals won?
Oh, Doolittle, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds
Wasn't he a
familiar.
guy that just threw hard?
Let me look. Make sure I wasn't speaking out my ass anyway. Yeah, Sean Doolittle was their closer. He actually didn't have that great of a fucking year, though. I mean, he had 29
just
saves, but he had an
remember-
ERA over 4.
I just remember Scherzer and Strasburg pitching most of the game.
Well, I mean, yeah.
They would pitch most of their games, and then coming out of that World Series, it went to 7 with the Astros. I'm sure those two won their games, and the other ones got lit up. Probably.
I mean, they had 4 guys that a lot of teams would use as their ace that year. Like, their starting pitching was fucking legit. Like, Patrick Corbin and Anibal Sanchez could probably have been an ace for, like, 10 teams in the league.
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember Patrick Corbin having some nice years. I don't know. It's an interesting situation.
It's just funny the way it all planned out.
Yeah.
They win the very next year, literally.
Imagine what he felt like as soon as that happened. Just like, oh man. Because I mean, he was kind of Bryce Harper was kind of a huge deal there for a while. Like he was kind of the guy that kind of brought baseball to Washington D.C. To be honest,
Yeah.
the Nationals weren't shit until Bryce Harper went there. Bryce Harper was like this phenomenon growing up that got all this crazy attention,
Yeah.
and he went to the Nationals and he made the Nationals relevant for the first time
Mm-hmm.
ever.
Well, I remember on the cover of like Sports Illustrated and stuff, he was the reason why people were picking them to win the World Series every year.
He's one of the most popular baseball players ever. He was
He's
incredible.
definitely one of the most popular, if not of my generation.
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
here's
He
the
was a
thing.
huge deal.
He's not as good of a player, but he's more popular than Mike Trout.
He is.
Oh, yeah.
He really is.
Well, every time he hits a home run, he freaking screams and yells about it.
I mean, he's an asshole. He's a huge fucking asshole.
But
I mean,
he does,
that's
though.
part of his thing. It's part of his facade,
Yeah,
though.
he is an asshole, but he does in ways. In my opinion, I think he makes baseball exciting sometimes. You watch him in the postseason.
No,
I
yeah, in
think
the
that's
postseason,
exciting.
I'll give him that. I mean,
He makes it
and
exciting.
most
to
of the time he
watch.
does hit a home run. Like
He is a lot of home runs in the playoffs.
I mean,
Then he gets pumped up and he's screaming.
he's
And
yelling.
I like it when people flip out and act a little crazy. I personally like it.
I don't mind bat flipping and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially in the postseason. Now, if we're talking about a matinee game at Sunday in July, it's a little bit different. But
The only person
a cold Game 7 or Game 6, like game you need to win in October, and you're screaming and yelling.
there should be emotion in sports to a certain extent.
Yeah.
The only person who really bugged me with bat flips was Jose Batista.
Oh no.
He took it to a whole new extent, and then he got beat up by a little second baseman because he was a douche. But
Odor.
yeah,
Were you here for the Blue Jays episode, Ray? Or not Ray, Wade?
yeah, because I think I had Batista on my
Yeah,
list.
yeah. I was trying to remember if you talked about it. I remember talking about Batista and his bat flipping.
Because I think I put him on my list literally just because he had like this insane 2-3 year run of popularity and a lot of home runs and bat flips.
Yeah.
But
no, yeah. A lot of
So,
people like Bryce Harper.
This year in the first round of the playoffs, he hit 462 with 3 home runs.
I think they only played like 5 or 6 games.
4.
Yeah.
Played 4 games.
that's insanity.
Yeah, he's hit 16 playoff home runs in his career.
He hasn't really been there a fuck ton, has he?
He's played.
Or is it more? I think
I mean, he's played 49 games.
he's been in the league what 12 years, 11 years.
12 years.
I think he's at the same. I think he's like the same age as me, or maybe like 1 year younger or older.
Shoot, why don't you
he-
hit bears?
Can you see me swing a baseball bat?
He's 31.
Yeah, I'm 31.
His birthday is October 16th, 1992.
Yep.
So you guys are almost exactly 2 months apart.
Yep.
Throw your name out there in free agency, see if you get signed.
Yeah. I could hit a few base hits for the Rays.
Don't expect to get paid.
No, you
like
couldn't.
Carl
mate.
Crawford.
No, you couldn't.
I can get it done, son.
You be a
I watch
DH.
Carl Crawford all day. I sit out there and slap it left field and run. If I ain't fast, I'm gonna get thrown out.
You be Wade Boggs.
No power lift knees. I can't move.
I can't, even
Wade Boggs.
I can't even imagine seeing Wade.
Yeah,
step,
Wade Boggs is slow.
See Wade step in the batter's box. I would die.
Oh, I'd get her done. I'd get a real tiny batting stance and like squat down real low so my
He'd
window
look-
to pitch to
He'd
me
look
was real
like
low.
fucking Johnny Gomes in the box.
I can just see Wade hitting it down the third base line. Don't you throw me out? And just yelling at the third baseman, don't you do it.
Fuck you, Arenado.
He'd hit you with the ball. That would.
Yeah. You don't deserve your platinum glove.
Yeah, that really surprised me this year. He didn't get his gold glove.
He didn't get a gold glove?
He didn't get a gold glove this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he have like an off year?
Not really. No.
Who got it then over him? He's
Shoot, I don't remember.
one of those guys you don't even check. You just think he got it.
That's what I was like. Let me look. You know, I was like, huh? The guy who
See? It's Wade in the box. It's fucking Johnny Gomes.
Johnny Gomes.
Remember Johnny Gomes? He played for the Rays for a while.
Yeah, well, he's running a gold glove every single year of his career besides this year.
Really?
Yeah.
They ruined his. I want to know who won it now.
Yeah, I'm going.
Dirty
Third base this year, it's some guy from Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Hayes.
I'm not familiar with him. I don't know.
That's wild. Yeah.
Kabyron, is that his name? Something like that?
Let's see.
Kabyron?
Yeah, Byron Hayes, yeah. Huh.
So how many gold gloves does Arenado have now?
10.
Nice.
10 and 11 years.
That's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, coming in as a rookie and winning and then don't.
Well, are we done with this topic, boys?
I think so.
Yeah, I would say.
It wasn't the heavy hitter I thought it might be.
I didn't think it was bad. We got,
I think it was
we got
bad,
a decent conversation out of it, I thought.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate you tuning in for this Nationals Expos episode. And we would appreciate you tuning in next week for our Mets episode. Yeah, the New York Mets. I don't even know what to think. And thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.